wasn't really a big fan of the debate, even though I did watch it. It was pretty dull, just hearing a lot of the same old boring talking points and empty promises. I can't stand Hillary. Not a big fan of O'Malley, who's just he should be he's more of a strategist than I would say as a an intellectually honest type of guy we want to have run for president. He's just a pure party hack. Bernie's one guy that actually offers something different, but some of the things he does are so out there that I can't back the guy, even though I do agree with him on a lot of the issues, and he's certainly light years better than Clinton. I would just be I don't know about him as the actual president. It's a shame for the Democrats that they don't have anybody better than those three. That's a pretty sad group right there. Even though I want to like Bernie, it's just I could never get behind a socialist. I don't get what's going on there. But what is nice is just seeing that there's a rift going on within the Democrat Party, which has been necessary. I've been hoping for that to come along for a while, maybe not in the exact same way, but you're seeing them kind of split apart the way the Republicans split apart a few years ago when you started getting more of the Tea Party and libertarian types that were going in a different route. And now you're seeing the same thing happening with the Democrats and the Clinton side and the Bernie side. So it'll be an interesting race to follow, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a slow march toward coronation. Bernie Sanders kind of wants he wants to get Steve Harvey's crown, but we all know where it's going to end up eventually. They're going to try their thing, but they're totally in on Hillary, all in on Hillary. I've seen reports that say I forget what type of testing parameters were used, but I've read the articles. I've heard pundits talking about it. The fact that people have tested, the more they listen to Hillary, the less they like her. So they're actually trying to bury her debates on days and times where nobody's going to be watching. I think they put her up against a football game or something. I think it was
you had the Jets and Cowboys.
Yeah.
And there's a UFC was on. I think there was some college football on. Of course, that was the big Star Wars opening weekend. It was right
exactly.
before Christmas.
We're gonna.
Oh
really? My God.
On Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck with that. If we don't realize what you're doing, if you don't think we realize what you're doing, you got another thing coming. It seems pretty obvious that whether that poll's right or wrong, it sure seems like they're trying to keep Hillary out of the limelight as much as humanly possible. And that's a pretty good explanation, as good as one as I've ever heard, why they wouldn't want to just be out there flaunting their shiny new candidate, their shiny new grandmother as, the wave of the future and the next big thing, and hope and change and youth and freedom, with this old corrupt grandmother with, her oligarchical connections and all of her shady dealings from Whitewater back to the Nixon situation with Watergate, Benghazi, and just look through the Clinton cash and the money that's changed hands in their air quote charity. It's not surprising that they want to keep her under wraps as much as humanly possible, because way more important, I think, Blake, than people supporting Hillary and her policies and how inspiring she is, I think what's going on now is that people love the concept of Hillary. I think the concept of Hillary, the first woman president, I think it's something that the left, that the media, Hollywood, I think it's something so amazing that they want to cross off of their mammoth social justice checklists to say, we elected a black president. We elected the first half-black president of the United States. Check. Look how awesome we are. We don't care about that person's content of character. No. We care that that person is half-black, and that's cool. And I think we owe black people things, so we should at least do that. I think it's fantastic. I think that we need a woman in the White House. We've had penis in the White House for too long. This country's been run into the ground by old rich white men for too long. We need a woman. I don't care about the content of the character of that woman, but we want a woman, and we want her now. I think people are only, Blake, interested in Hillary Clinton as a concept way less than her flip-flopping strategies and complete corruption. You think I'm off base there, or you think I'm onto something?
I mean, I don't know what's going on because she really shouldn't be there. I mean, it's just that it's so awful for everybody that we're actually talking about her and that she's actually a serious candidate, that she actually still has a chance to win. And yeah, they're just going to dumb everything down, and they have just idiot followers that will go along with anything, which is scary in itself. So yeah, it's I don't know what's going to go on there, but hopefully she won't make it. But then what are we going to be stuck with? Bernie, who I mean I don't even know, but I just hoping that somebody else wins, and this is going to be just an unbelievable election. And there's just so many incredible storylines with that, and I don't even know. Is she gonna make it there, and can she really? And then the scary thought of her actually taking over again, being that's awful.
Again, do you mean because of the Clinton administration with her husband, or because of
Yep.
when she was Secretary of State, or when she was in New York? And I mean, look, people, if you want to laugh about Benghazi and say there was nothing there, just please take a look. Take a look at what happened there. Miss Clinton is Secretary of State, Barack Obama, Commander in Chief. Look at that through the new lens of what's going on in Syria. The fact that we've been arming rebels of other rebels, of the third kind of rebels that we supported in Afghanistan, but then they morphed in Iraq, and then you have Al Qaeda, and then you have Al Nusra, and then you have. And you go down this long laundry list of, oh my God. The rumor that I heard 2 years ago about running. I always have to slow down and make sure I say this right. What was it? Running guns to rebels paid for by U.S. tax dollars from Libya through Turkey into Syria. And what happened? The United States government played a huge role in creating ISIS. I've been hearing that for years, and I'll tell you what, I know a little bit about fantasy football, I know a little bit about pop culture, I know a little bit about politics, but seriously, in-depth geopolitics, specifically focused on the Middle East, I know what I know. I know a lot of the basics and whatnot, but I've had to pay much more attention to this over the last couple of years, and you just look at Benghazi with a different set of, through a different set of eyes. And you realize what Ambassador Stevens was there to do. And what a lot of people said was he was there not as an ambassador. He was there as a gun runner. And he knew too much, so they had him killed. But what happened is it went wrong. Because there were Navy SEALs, there were other Americans that refused to stand down. That's a story you hear all the time. That there were people close, they were available, they could have jumped in to help, they volunteered and said, let us help, and they were told no. In uncertain terms, in no uncertain terms, covert or overt, it doesn't matter. They were told no, no, and he was hung out to dry. It's just these other. They didn't anticipate other people jumping in to try to fight so hard. But for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, they were fighting there for their lives. People were dying. They were being tortured and raped and dragged through the streets naked by these monsters. This is Hillary Clinton. This is Hillary Clinton, chin deep, barely keeping eyes and nose above water, barely. She's that deep into this mess. It has her fingerprints all over it, and some people in this country want to vote for her. I'm sorry. You can tell me Benghazi's not a thing. I'm going to tell you I respectfully disagree with that. And we can go down and, well, the congressional hearings. Okay. If that's your stance, if you want to just draw that line in the sand and say, no, I'm going to defend Hillary on Benghazi till the end of time, fine. We can agree to disagree on it. But I'm saying to the rest of you people, take a look into that story and ask yourself, is that really somebody we want running our country? I would say the answer is no. So, Blake, I don't know if there's any other comments that you have on the Democratic debate or not, or the Obama to Trump to Hillary back and forth looking for retractions. Let's buzz through it and wrap this up.
Yeah, no, I just say that, she denied all the security requests for Benghazi and let that whole incident happen, and perhaps there was some running weapons to these Syrian rebels, these moderate Syrian rebels that later became ISIS, and yeah, things went wrong, and there was I don't know if there was a stand down or what, but there was not a rescue was not attempted, and the reasons they gave were not true. And then she blamed a YouTube video, and she knew that wasn't true, even though she told other people's amongst her family amongst them that it wasn't because of the video, even though that's what she told the families of the victims. And then, of course, she resigned. And then, of course, we can't access any of her emails because she had her own private servers set up. And then,
don't forget, she also fell and bumped her head, which kept her out of interrogations right off the bat till they could get their story straight. Remember that phantom concussion or something, and she disappeared for several weeks?
Concussion, fell down the stairs or something, and that was kind of, a bit suspicious at that time. Quite a coincidence. And then, gave her plenty of time to get her story straight, I suppose, or it was a coincidence. But I mean, there's so many things. I mean, it's just the beginning of it. I mean, there's just going to be more of the same. We just cannot elect somebody who's just this lifelong, Washington
corruptocrat.
Yeah, exactly. It's time, and the Democrats should want somebody better than that. But they're kind of they're in the same boat the Republicans were several years ago, and they're having a big rift right now, and they need to reinvent themselves.
Hey, the Republicans are having a rift right now too. There's a lot of people saying if you end up with Trump, there is no way in hell he can win a general election. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm very curious to play devil's advocate and then hash this one out because I don't know. I get their point, but I'm not sure they're correct in making that assumption. They're just guessing, no more than anybody does in the stock market or betting on a football game. You're just guessing. It's fantasy football. I hope that Hightower has a good night tonight for the Saints at running back since Mark Ingram went down, but maybe he won't. I'm guessing. But the Republicans are rifting as well. Lindsey Graham was saying something recently about that his wing of the party has disappeared. I say, thank God, good riddance. Don't let the door hit you. But you really have the Jeb Bush and the Marco Rubio and this old money, this completely corrupt oligarchical system, just teeming with lobbyists and just bought and paid for puppets of huge corporations. I mean, it's sitting there, and they're seeing that it might be taken from them. And they're freaking out because they're so used to having what they want. If you spend enough money, you can buy anybody. But they're finding with alternative media, more people are paying attention to this, and it's not resonating. Jeb Bush under 5% everywhere you go. Rubio's a distant, third or fourth in most polls? I mean, there's a rift in the Republican side, too.
Oh yeah, there has been for a few years now, ever since the whole Tea Party revolution. So, and of course, but the the establishment is very strong, and they keep fighting back. So you have a big victory, getting rid of John Boehner as the horrible House Speaker, and then he gets replaced with another Rhino. So
Paul Rhino, welcome.
Paul
Meet your new boss, same as the old boss. Okay.
Yeah, so it's still moving along, and they can't hold on to it forever because there's no good young blood. I mean, they got Rubio, who's going to be a puppet, but
if there was any good young blood, I'll bet you Hillary would have it filtered out of his body like a vampire. I must have his young blood. I could totally see that, like some creepy old grandpa vampire, grandma vampire. Anyway.
Yeah, nothing would surprise me.
I smell new
I don't know
blood.
If she's human or not, right?
You're going reptilian. What is that, David Icke?
No, I don't.
I see what you're saying. So they're all. So you're saying that they're all reptiles, huh? I get it. I get
No,
it.
not
I've heard that.
there.
I've heard that.
She doesn't sweat.
She doesn't sweat. Oh, she eats.
Remember that headline from a few weeks? Or it was a while ago, and that was even before the Benghazi, the 11 hours in which she didn't crack, and I don't think she broke a sweat during that too. Yeah, I don't know if she's human or not.
Compare that to Ray Farmer,
She's
the Browns
so evil
GM.
That maybe she can't be. So I don't know.
Yeah, the Browns GM, Ray Farmer, having another horrible season, horrible draft picks up there, sweating buckets. His pits, his chest, his face, he's just sweating. And that's actually happened to me before in a very hot room, and I had to be dressed up, and it was really tough. When it's really hot, I can't stand suits. I'm a sweater. So I get it. I actually read a story about Hillary Clinton saying that she eats raw jalapenos. They're really refreshing.
Wow. No,
I just saw that today. Just another weird, stupid story. But anyway, speaking of weird and stupid, is there any other Anything of note from the debate we need to take away? Or would you rather wrap this show up just saying, here's what Hillary said about Trump, and here's what Trump is demanding from Hillary, and wrap it up on that story? Is there anything of note on the DNC?
Yeah, she's under fire right now for that because she did mention during the debate that that she was saying that Donald Trump was being used as a tool by ISIS, and that he was in a video, I guess, as rhetoric as a recruitment tool. Let's see if I can back up here. This is an article from. Here's one from. Yeah, I got one from Mediaite and I got one from Infowars. It says here's Trump. Hillary lies about everything, and I demand an apology for the ISIS video claim. This is from Mediaite. It says while Donald Trump has attacked Hillary Clinton and called her a liar on a regular basis, he is continuing to attack her for saying that ISIS uses his rhetoric as a recruitment tool at the Democratic debate. So let's see if I can get a. There has been an update saying Clinton's National Press Secretary Brian Fallon Monday responded to Trump's demand, releasing a statement saying, hell no to the Democratic candidate, will not apologize to Trump for correctly pointing out how his hateful rhetoric only helps recruit more terrorists. But then I'm looking at a video, the ISIS recruitment video, and it features Bill Clinton, not Donald Trump. This is from Adon Salazar from Infowars. So yes, the Democratic presidential frontrunner Hillary Clinton's comment that the Islamic State terror group used videos of Donald Trump to recruit jihadists has been proven false. But it includes her husband. Do you believe this stuff? Yeah.
That's a minion saying what?
Oh, I was wondering what that was. Okay.
What?
I was saying what, but I didn't know what movie that was from. Did not see the thing with the minions.
I am shocked to find that gambling is occurring here. Here's your bribe, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, that was one of the highlights there, I guess. And then I don't know. The rest of it was really boring. I mean, I went through it, and it's just the transcript is just uninteresting. Like I said, the only one that is somewhat interesting is Bernie, and then just some of the stances are so wacky on things like, global warming is directly related to terrorism, and the whole idea that he's gonna reinvent the economy to work for the the working class families, but he's a diehard socialist, so I don't really know where he's going with that, because this country was built on middle class through free market capitalism, where he's right and wrong. Yes, that crony capitalism is a problem, but the solution is free market capitalism, not big government socialism. But anyway, those are that's really the highlights from that, I think. And O'Malley's kind of he's like a Scientologist, cult leader, jerk. And
hey, hold on. Is he really, or he reminds you of someone like that?
Yeah, that's what he seems like to me. He seems like he should just be a strategist. He should just be like a talking head somewhere and push the Democratic Party, but not actually run for president. It's time to. He's just wasting time up there right now, I believe. So it's just going to be the Hillary and Bernie show. It'll be a good showdown, and we'll see where that goes. Yeah, the next debate, of course, is going to be on a Sunday during the football playoffs. So.
Love it. Right. Love it. No, they're definitely not trying to hide her.
Yeah, so January 17th, I believe, is their next debate. That's going to be in Charleston. So expect a lot of, it'll be in Lindsey Graham's backyard. Maybe they can talk about global warming and, of course, that unfortunate weird shooting they had there in Charleston with that goofy Dylan, what's his name? Anyway, so yeah, that's what you can look forward to there after football's over. You can turn on and watch the Talking Point Marathon, last debate. So anyway,
yeah,
there's a few more debates. I got 3 more. I think they're Sunday, and I think one's on Wednesday and Thursday. The other 2 are going to be at normal times, I guess.
Give me.
I don't know.
Would
During
you
March Madness, maybe?
Yeah, during March. Definitely one on the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It'll be on Animal Channel, Animal Planet.
Yep.
It'll be on Animal Planet, opposite Super Bowl. in between the puppy bowl or the kitten bowl or whatever they have.
Puppy bowl, I think.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty great.
Hi, everybody. You're listening to Agree to Disagree with Brian Engelman, and this is John B. Wells reminding you that not only is Brian Engelman a cool guy, and not only is the newamericanmedia.com a very cool platform, but here's a cool idea for you, too. Are you alone? Not really. Do you like dogs? Do you like cats? You do. Of course you do. Everybody does. One or the other, maybe even both. You know, there are a lot of dogs and cats that are at shelters right now, and if somebody doesn't take them home, they're going to wind up euthanized. That's a nice way of saying they're going to be killed because there's simply not enough room. I guarantee it, the best dogs and the best cats, the best pets come from shelters. There's something about dogs and cats. They know. They know where they are. You walk through one of them, and certainly at least one is going to look at you and go, I wish you'd take me home. I'm in hell. Please take me out of here. It'll be the best thing that you ever did for your soul. You'll feel good about it. And not only that, but you have a friend for life. Doesn't matter if you got money, you don't have money. Well, it doesn't make any difference to a dog or cat. All they need is the sound of your voice and maybe even the stroke of your hand, and they're fine. Maybe a little food every once in a while. The sweetest sound that those pets ever hear is your voice. Think it over and adopt a cat or a dog from a local shelter today. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did.